Good afternoon, everyone. It's been a long journey for us. It's been 3 years in the making, and it's been 6 years as a dream, and it's been 14 years in a mission, and everything comes to this point. And from here, I have nothing else to say that it is you who will do the change. It's not us. We prepared the platform. We will be with you, definitely. But it is you who will do that change. And that video that you saw is a manifestation of the reality that would be in the future. That would be a reality. Technology is evolving. Our children today, our youth are not looking into education, and that's becoming a big problem, so we need to change things. Apologies for the casual opening. Your Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, Ambassadors, Consuls, Commissioner Generals, partners, friends, welcome to the RewirEd Global Education Summit here at Expo 2020 Dubai. I would like to thank you all for taking the time and effort to travel here in person during this dynamic time when the world is in a state of flux due to the ever-changing nature of the COVID-19 pandemic. I must also express my deep appreciation to the 11 strategic partners of the RewirEd Summit, who are UNICEF, UNESCO, UNHCR, the World Economic Forum, the Global Partnership for Education, the World Food Programme, the OECD, the World Bank, the Office of the UN Special Envoy for Global Education, and the International Telecommunications Union, ITU, as well as Education Cannot Wait. These strategic partners have worked together, hand in hand, with the co-hosts of the summit, namely Dubai Cares, Expo 2020 Dubai, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of International Cooperation here in the UAE, to bring this great gathering to life. Our partners and donors always played a role to our work. It was a key role, both locally and globally, to reach where we are today. The RewirEd Summit has brought together some 50 heads of state and government ministers around the world, in addition to heads of UN agencies, civil society, and private sector. I'm also delighted to announce that the first day of the summit, which is today, witnessed the participation of more than 1,500 in-person attendees from 60 countries from around the world. Our founder, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Vice President and Prime Minister of the UAE and ruler of Dubai, launched Dubai Cares 14 years ago. And since then, everything we have been working for, every program, every campaign, has been the manifestation of his vision. And at every single step of the way, the one thing that was absolutely clear to us was that we could not have achieved any of this by ourselves. Collaboration and coordination with our partners and donors have been instrumental to our growth and central to our mission, and we are grateful for all their generosity and goodwill. Let me start by asking you a question. Do you agree that the Industrial Revolution, which started in the late 1700s, marked the beginning of a new era for human existence? Would you agree that today's technological advancement, to a large extent, is a result of two innovations: electricity and the telephone, both invented in the late 19th century? However, why is it that us as humans have only begun to enjoy the benefits of modern civilization, such as increased health and prosperity, in the last 150 years? The answer is because of the public education system that was introduced at that time. Towards the end of the 19th century, elementary education was delivered through reading, writing, and arithmetic. People realized that a new world needed new skills as compared to the earlier agriculture way of life. Hence, a new system was formed to cater for this new life, a system that is still in place today, more than a century later, a system that has not been able to transform along with the societal changes around it, nor has it been able to absorb the sophisticated technological advancements that are present today in almost every other sector. Today, we have a massive dependency on technology. We have advanced much faster in terms of technology, and you saw the video, in the past 10 years than we did in the previous 30. Here in Dubai, flying vehicles, hyperloops, are just around the corner. But now, the world has shuddered to a sudden halt with the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic that has shaken the core of our existence over the past nearly 2 years. Everything has changed about how we live, the way we work, and especially how we educate our children and our young people. The pandemic has forced us to move to remote learning and rely on the technology to reach our students. Even though the pandemic has given us enough reason to rethink education, we are still not advancing in pedagogy or in the digital transformation of learning, despite the fact that we are continuing to make new strides in technology in other areas of our lives. In the future, we may face the prospect of technology replacing education, and young people counting on technology alone for their livelihoods, because how and what we learn in school today feels increasingly outdated in relation to our current way of life. And if we do not integrate technology for newer models of education that can serve us better to thrive as humans, we are in danger of losing the core value and purpose of education as a means of contributing to the greater good of our society. If this happens, our future generations will not have developed the sufficient skills for innovation to advance and maintain our future. Hence, the right kind of education is now more important than ever. If done right, education helps us achieve two main aspects of life, and one of them, it allows humanity to evolve. Two, it creates the right opportunities for everyone to thrive, anywhere, everywhere. Education systems and pedagogy needs to be more relevant and up to date for children and young people to see the value in continuing their education journey. And this is why Dubai Cares felt compelled to host the RewirEd Summit at this time. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at a tipping point of humanity. We may not see it, but we are there. And if education does not deliver on its promise to equip children and young people all over the world with the skills they need to tackle future challenges, then we will be known as the generation who did nothing when we could do everything. We have the means, we are all here, and we must act now. We are here to jumpstart this dialogue on how we must rewire our education systems to meet the challenges of a continuously changing world, to ensure a future that is sustainable and prosperous for all. So let's put our minds together to commit to be bold and ambition of the summit and realize a better future for our youth by writing a new chapter in the history of education as we did in the late 1800s. We keep on saying and telling our children that tomorrow will be a new day for a brighter future. But friends, the reality is that the future is too late. Tomorrow has to start today. Thank you very much.